Welcome to YOUCANIC. Today here in YOUCANIC we have a 2016 Jaguar XE, and on this Jaguar we're going to go over how you would install or remove and install your camshaft position sensors. There are 4 camshaft position sensors because we have 4 cams, a dual overhead cam on each side of this V6. And so we got 2 on this side on the bank 1 and 2 on this side of the bank 2. So they're gonna, if your engine code is going off and reading a camshaft position sensor, you're gonna have bank 1, number 1 and number 2, as well as bank 2, number 1 and number 2. So they are located right down here behind this. And so to gain access to it, you can either remove this whole intake portion, or we really only need to remove this piece right here. But for the ease, we will just remove the whole thing. So you have a 7mm on this side. We had a 7mm right down here in the middle. If you remove this cover, you'll be able to get your 7mm right down through this hole behind the air cleaner. We have a vacuum line here and this 7mm that we undo on the other side for the air box. And then once those are loosened up, then you'll be able to just remove this whole unit out of the way. For this side, you'll need to take this water line and just kind of press it down. And what we're trying to gain access, we have 1 cam position sensor right here, and we have 1 cam position sensor right here. So these 2 on this side, and there's 2 that correspond exactly on the other side. You'll just may need to move a few other things to gain more access to it. So we have the camshaft position sensor here. And this same procedure will be the same for all of the camshaft position sensors, the same way to replace them. So we have the access there. And that it was a size 30 Torx to be able to remove that bolt. Once you got the bolt removed, you'll just move it side to side, be able to break the seal. The rubber O-ring in there, it holds it in. So we were able to get the camshaft position sensor out to be removed, and then we get a new one. You take your new camshaft position sensor. We've made sure that we had the O-ring came out on the old one, and then you'll line it up, put a little bit of oil on that O-ring, the new one, and then just be able to let it go back into position. And see that it visually sits flush and that the O-ring isn't pinched between it. Now we can put the T30 bolt in. And just tighten that snug, and that's installed. Then you want to make sure that you reconnect the electric connector and put all your things that we moved out of the way, hoses back into place, reinstall your air intake system and tighten that all back into place, and you'll be good to go. And then make sure that the code doesn't come back on in the very near future. If it does, there will be something else that you would need to look into that sensor is going off for. Thanks for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.